So I'm Rowan, I live in the UK, I'm a trans guy, and I am 9 days post-op, top surgery with Miles Berry. I went to London. I'm just gonna get straight into it, talk the process from start to finish, in case anyone's interested about it. So I had my consultation on the 5th of February, and I emailed about it on the 31st of January. So pretty quick turnover, like because they're private, the waiting list wasn't too long at all, and I actually got my surgery booked then for early June. The consultation is basically just an overview of like what you want out of surgery, which method would be right for you, checking your chest, seeing if you could have peri, so if you had a smaller chest, or me, I had a large chest, so I got double incision, and he just measures with like a tape measure. You have to take your shirt off, and it's fine. He's very respectful, and he has some medical history. My mum came with me, so we just talked to my mum a bit as well. Made sure I had no underlying medical conditions that could stop me having surgery, and then I got surgery booked. Once you've paid your deposit, they send you like a pack of information. Mine actually had the wrong address in it by accident, so they ended up emailing everything to me. So that has like a big list of everything you might need, just a general one about all the surgery to do. So like no piercings, all the like rules like that. They also sent me a swab test to send back, where I just put under my armpit and my nostrils. Pretty sure it was for, I'll put it here, but I can't remember what it was. MRS, doesn't matter. Around 14 days before the surgery, when everything was paid, I paid like the first half as the deposit, and then the second half you have to pay it 2 weeks before surgery. And then around the 2 week mark, the nurse gives you a call, and she asks you about just general medical history, medical questions, and then she goes through with you what you need to take to the hospital and what your admission time was. So I got admitted to the hospital at 12:30. She also goes through when you need to stop eating, so I had to start fasting at 6 a.m. and only have water up to 10 a.m. After this phone call, everything started to feel pretty real, so I was really excited. So I just had my phone call with the nurse, ready for surgery, and I started ugly crying because it's not like a trick and no one's going to take it away from me. No one said it's going to happen. I'm really excited. So the day of surgery, I woke up nice and early. I took out all my piercings, ready for surgery, and then me and my mum made our way to the hospital in the middle of London. When I got to the reception, they just fill out another medical form, so that again, make sure you don't have any illnesses or anything that could stop you having surgery. And also I filled out the menu of what I wanted to eat for breakfast and for dinner, because I was admitted around lunchtime. A nurse then takes you up to your hospital room, and it's really nice, got a TV, and you have to quickly shower because you got like an ensuite, so you have to shower with this like red disinfectant soap really quick, and then you put on some paper pants, which is very fashionable, and a gown, a dress gown, some compression socks, and some sandal-y, what are they called? Slippers. I was then visited by a nurse to take my blood pressure and ask me some questions, and took my weight as well. And then the next person to visit was the anesthesiologist, who went through everything that's going to happen. She was actually with another person who was there to like observe, and I like signed a waiver to make sure that I was okay with that, which was fine. Really kind, just going through what they need to do, putting the needle on and everything. Obviously, I was like not afraid of needles, so I'm fine. But she was very nice anyway. And then once that's all done, someone comes and takes you to the operation suite. You go in this big like service elevator, and then you go downstairs, and then you lie down on the operating table. So they give you the drip in your arm here. You can see the little dot, and you breathe oxygen. I was actually really calm, so I was breathing really slowly, and I was like, "Am I breathing hard enough?" And then with the mask on, I was like, "Do I need to breathe through my nose and my mouth?" And he was like, "Anything's fine." And then she says, "I promise by the time I'm finished counting down to 10, you'll be asleep." And then I was. Waking up is kind of weird. It's kind of like in those video games where it kind of like you come in and out of sleep. And Miles was like next to me, and he said it went really well. You have a flat chest now. And I remember like a couple of tears coming down, and I was like, "Thank you so much." And they take you back up to the your hospital room, and I met my mum there, and then go from one bed to your hospital bed. And I remember I like leapt, and they were like, "Do not do it that quickly." You. Surgery went well. They gave me some pineapple juice. I then ordered my dinner, which was a baked potato and beans. It was pain. The nurse was in to check on me ever so often to check my blood pressure and like give me any pain meds if I wanted them. I didn't feel sick at all waking up. A lot of guys I've seen do like throw up, but I had had it before and I had no problems, so I was fine and I ate the entirety of their kitchen probably. I didn't have any drains because Miles said he was umming whether to use them because a couple of ones in the past like there wasn't really any fluid and it was kind of unnecessary, especially in younger guys. So he said depending on how the operation goes, he wouldn't use drains or would use drains. And when I woke up, there wasn't any, so that was really cool. So I could just kind of move around, go to the loo and stuff without having drains, which was a bonus. And everything's going completely fine. So I didn't have to get them out either, which I heard was a weird experience. So yeah. I then quite happily watched some TV and I fell asleep and woke up at around 6 a.m. on my own. When the nurse came to check on me, I did notice kind of a squishing and I squished like this and it was kind of making a liquid noise, which I was worried because I'd heard about like hematomas and stuff like that. So I asked the nurse and she kind of pressed it as well and like we had a look and it was fine. But I did ask Miles Berry about this when he came in to see me in the morning and he said it was leftover local anesthetic because he puts that on your chest as well. So I had general anesthetic that put me to sleep and the local was just to numb my chest. So when I woke up I wasn't in too much pain. So when Miles did come in, he said everything went really well. He said he'd managed to get my scales quite straight, which was I really pleased about. He then left and the nurse gave me some extra info to go home with. Before this I did actually have breakfast as well, which was delicious. The post-op binder honestly wasn't as irritating as I thought it would be. It felt kind of just like one of my more tight binders that I would wear maybe going out on a night out or something. And because it's kind of like stretchy, but obviously with normal binders you have the flat kind of hard surface on the front, but this is just compression, so it doesn't have that, so I feel like it's a bit more easy to breathe and move around in. The only trouble I had with the post-op binder was it being quite tight towards my belly when I was eating a lot of food because I was hungry because I'd fasted. So that's the worst kind of like uncomfort I've been in when I was trying to sleep upright with like a bloated belly. But pain wise and like tightness wise, and it wasn't too itchy or anything like that. I think I've been relatively lucky with pain. After I'd seen Miles and the nurse gave me all my stuff to go home with, I went home with my mum, and then when I got home, the nurse gave me a call to arrange my 1 week post-op appointment. The only thing I kept an eye on was the squishy noise in my chest. It was more like funny because it wasn't painful and it didn't look too bad and they'd already told me that it was fine, but I was aware and made sure that it went down. I think around 4 days post-op, it just completely disappeared when I woke up. I then had my big chest reveal on the Monday. I got my brother to film my reveal, so I'll put that clip in here.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That seal looks so quick.
Yeah, so you've got all dissolvable sutures in there. So you know, have you seen pictures of how it's going to look today?
Yeah.
So
a little crusty.
to be honest, it won't look too crusty. It'll just probably look a little bit wet today. It'll look a little bit darker. It will go a bit crusty and go scabby over the next couple of weeks, and then the scabs will start to sort of crust off while you're in the shower and things, and then you'll have the nice healthy pink tissue underneath it. Okay,
It's a nipple.
There we go. So just a tiny little bit of separation there, can you see? But that's actually quite normal at this stage. As the nipple kind of toughens up a little bit, it will just sort of pull it all together. But actually, it looks nice and
Nice nipple, dude. They're like a soccer mom.
right here, okay?
It's even better on the Zoom.
Lovely. Right, I'm just going to give that a good clean and then you can have a look in the mirror, okay?
That looks amazing. It's you. Side, are you crying? I should have placed a bet. Who would have bet everyone's not crying? Me and you most likely. Wow. The moment it really sunk in how happy I was when I had my first shower and got out of the shower. Obviously the tape's on the incision so you can kind of see what your chest would look like down the line a bit without the more raised and red incisions, although they are super thin. That's what I remember when they took the bandages off. I remember looking down it. Honestly, I've had like bramble scratches worse than it. It looks amazing. What I have to do now is I put plasters on my nipples every day and I replace them in the shower. I tend to shower, wash my hair with shampoo and do the body wash and everything. Not obviously not on my chest, but while the plasters and tape's still on. And then when I've done all that, then I take the tape off and let the water run down my nipples. I don't obviously. It says on the thing, don't rub them, and it's like, who in the world would want to do that? They're my precious babies, and it's terrifying. But and then I'm allowed kind of like 45 minutes to an hour to just rest my chest and dry everything and let everything breathe. One thing that was really cool when I got to have my first shower is afterwards I put the plasters and the tape on and I got to try on a white t-shirt for the first time. Everyone hypes it up and I thought, I've worn a t-shirt without a binder but at home just around the house, but it hits different. Like, I've never had a feeling of like feeling the material all the way down here, and it's crazy, honestly. So yeah, that was my top surgery experience with Miles Berry. I hope this was useful to anyone who might need it, or just interesting and answered a couple questions, maybe people who were curious about it. Yeah. Boy.